សមាជិកគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាប្រធានសាមគ្គីក្នុងនានាសង្គ្រោះបម្រើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរព្រមគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរ
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This is part of the CNRP America live TV show. Today is Tuesday, July 27, 2021. My name is Linda. I am broadcasting live from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm still here. So I am at 9 p.m. But thank you for joining our show. Thank you for being here. Our topic today is freeing own shadow. I have two wonderful guests that I'm going to introduce later on. But before I start, I would like your support on signing petitions on ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. So far, we have collected 98,300 over 300 signatures. So we have less than 1,600 signatures to go to get to 100,000 signatures. So for those that have supported our petitions, thank you so much. And for anyone that have not signed, please help to sign and share. And for anyone that already signed, please also tell your friend, your family, and also anybody that love justice and who want to end impunity for justice in Cambodia. We really need your support to reach 100,000 signatures. We're almost there. So please help to sign our petitions at change.org. I have a short clip by Her Excellency Mosakur that's going to explain why we're collecting the signature and the reason why we're collecting the signature. Thank you.
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases, for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, a very famous trade union leader, Bisep Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemley, an independent analyst, of Chutvuti, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sun Bunthun, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state-backed extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation. And then to take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
Thank you and welcome back. As I said earlier, we have collected 98,300 signature. We need less than 1,600 signature more to reach 10,000 signature. 100,000 signature. Your support is very important. Please help to sign, share, and support our petitions at change.org. Thank you. Our topic for today is freeing own shadow. We will talk about environmental activists and CNRP activists that arrested in the past weeks, and also the environmental activists, they have been arrested, but they have been charged with more charges on them. So we will talk a little bit about that, and we also talk about CNRPA Women Affair that they have just had a solidarity flower this past weekend. We will talk about what we did and why it's important that we did that. And if you would like to join our effort and join our force, please watch our show coming up. I would like to introduce two of my guests. My first guest, her name is Pauline Nu. She is the General Secretary of CNRPA, which is then for CNRP America, and also CNRP Overseas. She is on Women Affairs. So let me bring her out.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice seeing you last weekend.
Oh, it was very nice. It was too short.
Can you introduce, I know you've been on our show many times, can you introduce what you do and beside General Secretary, what do you do on your daytime job?
Oh, goodness gracious. So, you know, I worked for Kaiser Permanente Department of Psychiatry, and yeah, that's my daytime job, and I'm a psychotherapist and also a nurse.
Yes, that's going to come into my question when we're talking about COVID-19 later on. That's why I want our audience to know who we're speaking to and why we're asking you all these medical questions that because you have the background. So thank you, Namin, for being here.
I'm also working for the county. I forgot that. I've been with them for a long time since I was 19. So, yeah.
So yes, the medical background is there. So we'll talk about COVID-19 in a little bit. Thank you, Namin.
You're welcome.
Let me put on my second guest. His name is Samady. He's been here many times. Samady. Cannot hear you, Samady.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Let me introduce Samady. Samady is the youth president of CNRPA in Los Angeles, California. How's school, Samady?
I'm busy. Next week is finals, and I'm going back to regular semester for school. So
good. At least you have something to keep yourself busy.
Yeah, well,
make life interesting.
make life interesting. Yeah.
Thank you, Samady. Let me put that meme back on, and then we will talk about a little bit about COVID-19 because then it is the hot topic right now.
It sure
Um, yeah, let me put on the number in Cambodia right now, and then we'll talk about the new variant of COVID-19, which is Delta. And I want to know a little bit more detail on how we protect ourselves. What should we do? Since all of us in America or in Canada or in European got both shot, and also many people in Cambodia also got their first and second shot as well. So we want to know. Let me read the number in Cambodia. This is by Radio Free Asia. Um, this is as of July 27, which is today. They have 685 people that got a new infections, and the new fatality would be 19 people. So total people that got infections is 74,386 people. People that recover is 66,725 people. People that pass away is 1,324 people. And the infection that brought from outside the country is 9,414 people. The number is a little bit down from last week. This week, I'm not talking about this week. Yesterday, it's only 600 and I believe 85 according to the number, and on the people that passed away 19. From what we did last week was we know that the average of people die daily. It's probably 30, an average of 30 people. But now the number is looking down. The number is down as of the 27, but I don't have the data for the week. This is from yesterday. It looks it's still the infection rate is still going up, and the people that pass away is still people that not recover, being really sick and pass away. But what I know is 2 weeks ago, Cambodia has over 54% of people that have COVID-19 vaccine already. So that number is pretty high for a country of 6.5 million, we can safely say. That means when you are in medical field, since Delta variant, the variant called Delta or COVID-19, it looked like it's very more contagious than the original COVID-19. I have both of my vaccine, and I believe you have both of your vaccine. What should we do? We in America, what should we do to protect ourselves from Delta?
So thank you for the wonderful question. And I was following up the news, and even as of today, President Joe Biden was pondering whether it looks like state workers and like people who are working for the Veteran Administration are probably required to have vaccination. Okay, because they said that the Delta variant so far, the one who has been infected are mostly the one who had not been vaccinated. Okay, so it's looked like it's on its way to have a requirement if you're working for the state or the VA. And of course, in this country, we have a lot of freedom to argue. If you don't want to get vaccinated, then you subject yourself to be tested every so often. Okay, because they don't want to, they want their freedom not to have that. Okay, fine, then you have to do something to show that you are protecting yourself. And for those who have been vaccinated, and if you could remember, either you're getting Pfizer, you're getting Moderna, or you're getting Johnson and Johnson, nothing's 100%. Okay, so say I got Pfizer. Okay, so it's up to 95%. So there's that 5% that you're not protected. So you don't know whether you're that part of where that 5% is. So it's always best. And we flew to the East Coast, and you saw in the airport, how packed it is. Not only it's 6 feet, but it's not even 2 feet. I mean, people were packed. I couldn't even find a place to stand, sort of like alone, so not not sit but stand. So we will packed it. So and everyone is having to wear a mask. And before we get in, FEMA, offer masks right before we, checked in. So we're strongly encouraged. Actually, we're required to wear masks because I don't see anyone without masks in the airport. I think it's for our own protection. And of course, washing hands for at least 20 seconds. And California is kind of short on water. I'm so jealous. When we went to the East Coast, the first thing I did when I went to the hotel was that we turned on the faucet, and boy, so much water came out, it almost wet my clothes. Over here in California, you turn on the sink, in public places, you almost have to turn it on 3 times to get your, hand, washed for after 20 seconds. So, but nevertheless, it's very important to wash hands. And if hand washing isn't available, make sure you have the hand sanitizer, rub it and, for until it's dry. And the first chance you get to wash hand, do it. But mask, maintain your distance, and if you're sick, make sure you call in sick, don't spread the virus. But yeah, this Delta variant is really kind of vicious. But still, I think that our body is pretty smart, our body is pretty intelligent. As long as you're taking good care of yourself, get enough rest, get enough water, and stay masked, and wash hands.
So what you suggest is, I know before we got vaccine, we were very careful with our, we even have glove. We have glove.
Yeah.
We put mask on, and we spray everything.
Yeah.
Should we be cautious like that, or should we be loosen up a little bit? But we need to pay attention to mask, and also short of distance, or should we be like uptight like before, like last year?
Okay, because we cannot ask people whether you've been vaccinated or not. It's, I mean, in your own home, you kind of know who your peoples are, in your own surrounding. But when you go to places, I would overkill, I would spray, when it's like at work, I don't know who's coming to my surface, it's always best, wear gloves, when you have access to it, and then, hand sanitize yourself and spray yourself, and wipe, especially when you go to the bathroom door, especially like like in places like we went to just recently, like the airport, where everyone is like holding onto that doorknob. So it's probably best to have some barrier. If you don't have gloves, at least some tissue that you can open and close, and like even the toilet, where you flush.
Yes.
People flush with their bare hands. So just, all those places are germ ridden. So, if you have some kind of barrier, whether it be tissues, whether it be, gloves, it's good to use. It's never, you can never be too careful. It's better be safe than sorry.
Thank you. I mean, yes, I agree. We still wear masks in, like, even though when I go to the store, it's not required to wear mask, but I still put on the mask because I don't know who's out there, and I also not that don't really care about other people, just basically to protect myself, because we don't want that, because we keep hearing how horrible Delta is, and how much it's very strong germ. So we need to still be aware of our surrounding and protect ourselves until I believe we probably going to get a third dose of the COVID vaccine probably soon, but we don't know when. But they are looking into it, that we should be getting maybe in a couple months, getting our third dose of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Namin.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let me ask Samady if we have anything. Samady, what do you do right now? I know you homeschooling. I know you go places. So what does the youth like Samady do to protect himself? Cannot hear you, Samady.
So even though it is only required in Los Angeles County to wear a mask, because my mom have a donut shop in Corona, it's not required to wear a mask, but most of our customers doesn't wear a mask anymore. Only us as a seller is wearing mask. We just like being protective, after like each transaction, taking the customer credit card or cash, use hand sanitizer to clean like after each transaction and just stay safe. But at the same time, I feel like since in the US, we know that Johnson is not very effective. Most of us got Moderna and Pfizer. We have confidence that the vaccine work, but not like Sinovac or AstraZeneca, where there's many cases that people have both of the vaccine, but they still attracted COVID. We can see Cambodia, for example, people still die from COVID even though they have both of the vaccines. So it's not being protective at all. And we don't even know the true effective rate of the vaccine. And recently, I heard the government pushing more vaccine from China, even though they clearly know that it's not effective for Cambodian people, and the case still rising up. Like you said, 54% of the Cambodian population has been vaccinated. Why is the case keep increasing instead of going down like in the US after everyone have Pfizer and Moderna? So it shouldn't be happening right now after receiving the vaccine.
Correct, Samady. I do heard that Hun Sen himself have negotiated more of the Chinese vaccine for Cambodian people, but at the same time, I think I saw on the news that the I think the COVAX donated vaccine to Cambodia, and also Japan also donated vaccine to Cambodia. But as far as how this Cambodian going to get those that from Japan and from COVAX, I don't know. I know that I believe the elite, what we call the elite in Cambodia, got AstraZeneca, where the rest of the people got Sinovac and Sinopharm. So now that these COVAX donated more of the Western vaccine, and also Japan also donate vaccine, I don't know where will it go, or how does the regime planning to distribute those vaccines.
I feel like the privileges will be in play, because as you know, in Cambodia, if you have a stronger backup, you already receive the nicest things available in the market. It's not for the people. So I believe regular Cambodian people who doesn't have any title or anyone to back them up, just regular citizen, they probably get Sinopharm from China.
Yes, it's I think millions and million doses is heading. I'm not, if it's not delivered already, it's already headed to Cambodia. And like I said, I know Hun Sen himself went and to receive the vaccine from Japan, but of who gonna get it and how, we still don't know the plan. As always, there's no plan and there's no legit logic planning on how to distribute the vaccine to the people.
And you know what? And also they may, God, I hate to say this, the veracity. Who to say that they won't lie to the patient, the people, saying, oh yeah, today you'll be getting AstraZeneca, or today you'll be getting this or that. And when you arrive, most of our average Khmer have eighth grade education, right? They may not be able to read, or they may not have privy to reading that. They're not like the nurses or the people who are giving the injection. They're not showing, like in America, before we are getting the injection, we're shown, the lot and everything. Over there, they may just say, they may ask, what am I getting? And the nurse or whoever giving the injection said, oh, you're getting AstraZeneca. Who are we to say, I'm sorry, I sound paranoid, but that can happen.
And also, since Cambodia has so much sympathy for our neighbor, they send over material and mass to fight COVID-19 with the border. What is the likelihood that they don't send the good stuff to our neighbor?
Definitely, yep. Yep.
Yeah, because we are so good. Our we know how when our neighbor is in danger, our neighbor in the hardship, the regime feel it and they send the good stuff to when our people have no mask and our people have no food, but the regime spends so much money sending and helping out the neighbor. What does it say about the regime, Samady?
Well, first of all, we must not forget Hun Sen regime did care about his people. He bought coffin instead of mask and supplies. So that's itself said everything about him. So instead of looking forward to buy ventilation system, working relationship with the Western country to receive a decent vaccine, instead, he just think of everything in a negative way. He go, "Oh, you're gonna die anyway, so I'm gonna just buy coffin for you to put your body in at least." If it was a decent government who have some kind of formal educations, they wouldn't care about their own country first. Like in the U.S., we can see that as of now, even children under 17 still receive those stimulus monthly check of $250, I think. So
Yes.
they stop helping other country and they focus inside their country. How can I keep the economy of the country flowing? How can I keep my citizen from going hungry? How do we keep everyone staying alive in our country? You don't see United States going in to Canada, or we have great relationship with the European, giving them masks and stuff. No, they being selfish. First, we have to vaccinate everyone with the best vaccine in the world, and then we start caring about other country. Not while Cambodian people died from COVID every day. Everyone going hungry because they don't have money because they don't have jobs. They still go hungry on the street, and the government care about the neighbor countries. So this itself said that the government doesn't really care for the people. They just care about their own relationship and ties with other countries.
Thank you, Samady. Yes, I do agree. I just want to bring it up. Over here, nobody, I mean, over here in America, I cannot speak for Canada or Europe, but when I talk to people in Canada from our guests, nobody go hungry. And also the kid that they go to school right now, I have not paid for school lunch for my daughter because the government and COVID-19 have take care of that. So because they know that some family lost their job and some family have difficulty due to COVID infection, have difficulty go back to work. So school, I know elementary school and I know middle and high school have free lunch. And
Mhm.
also, if your family cannot afford to go buy food, we have food bank, and close to my house, there's and at Fairflex, what we call Fairflex, on every other Wednesday, people can dry up, open up. They don't even have to get out the car, open the trunk up, and get food. That's how the government take care of their people, meaning make sure that you get your vaccine. So for now, we do not have vaccine shortage. Everybody is welcome to have a vaccine, even though you illegal or not. You are welcome to how to take the vaccine. And also, you illegal in America or not, you are able to get food, and your children should be able to be fed. That's how you take care of the people. Not like the regime, like somebody said. People are in the blockage neighborhood community, have no food going in, not allowed to buy anything beside from the regime. And vaccine is depend on, you I don't think you get the luxury type. You would get the Chinese vaccine.
Mhm.
If I may add something, that is so against nature. Nature. We take care of our own first, and then we take care of our neighbor. Like in America, like at my workplace when the start of COVID, we protect our own resources. Like, okay, at our hospital, we give masks to the employee that's in our hospital. okay, we can give some masks to the neighbor hospital, but we have to make sure we have our own first. And just like our family, that's just nature. If you see animals, they protect their own first before they can protect other. So when we're doing things out of sync with nature, disaster will happen. Our people are starving. Our people don't have enough masks. They sell masks at an expensive price to the Cambodian people, and then there's not enough food. And what is the regime doing? They packed, a lot of masks, a lot of resources, some money, and sort of like a care package to the neighbor, to Vietnam, to Yuan, so that you have it. It doesn't matter if you live, that we want you to live. It doesn't matter that our people died. And it's so demeaning to give coffin to people, to the Cambodian people. It's just like in your face. That is not even ethical, so I don't, there's not much I could say about this the regime. We need to change.
Thank you, Namin. Yeah, we do need to change because our people have the base as a government. We can say government or regime. They have the right under the constitutions. Cambodian people have the right for basic necessary, base
Yeah.
meaning under human right or under democracy, the citizen have the right to basic necessity, meaning food to feed them. The government is responsibility to provide those, make sure the citizen have all that, and instead people just go hunger at the blockade community where the infection rate are increasing.
Hmm.
Thank you, Naming, and thank you, Samady. That's just a little bit current event for our audience that have not followed the COVID-19 in Cambodia. Let's go to our topic. Our topic is freeing own shadow. Not recently, last week, there have been an arrest of these CNRP activists, a former CNRP. Let me share the screen on her. Let me see on her picture. Were you able to see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Her name is Kem Tola on July 22nd. The regime arrested her. She was the activist in Kampong Speu, and she went to Thailand to actually she went to Thailand to do business, but selling grocery. But instead, her mom got sick, and she decided that she wanted to come back and help take care of her mom and also taking care of her family. But instead, when she came back, the regime asked her many times to join them to be in the CPP party, but instead she told them that she's not in any party, due to the many times that they asked her to join but she didn't, so they arrested her. um, what I remember was what I remember in 2000, I believe the end of a little bit at end 2019, Hun Sen himself came out to TV and said that for all the activists not to hide anymore, just come back and come to, come into the country and live. But instead, anybody that come back, they got arrested. Do you have any input regarding that, Miss Pauline?
Okay, I sure do. That is such a ploy because he did say he asked his cabinet saying that, okay, we're going to allow all the dissident, the activists to come back into the country, and we're not going to arrest them. We're going to let them be, and he didn't even say that they need to join our party or anything like that. But and Kem Tola, I think what we heard, the with our fundraising this past weekend, one of the excellency was speaking, he said before she came back, they were asking, some higher government official from the CPP ensure her that she wouldn't be arrested. if she goes back home, as long as she's not participating in any, you know, political activities anymore. And so they kind of lured her to go back, and she went back. And of course, you're right. They asked her many times to join their party, and she said, "No, I just want to take care of my sick mom and work, you know, selling grocery, vegetable to make ends meet." And then, you know, she got arrested. They didn't keep the word. They never do. They never do. So
Thank you. Let me have Samady say a little bit about that. Samady, have you heard of her arrest from last week? She's pretty is pretty famous. She's very active activist in Kampong Speu, and you know, she been gone from Cambodia, and she's been in Thailand, and she came back because she care about her family. Have you heard anything about that? Cannot hear you, Samady.
Yes, I did hear about her news, but she's not just a regular citizen who go to Thailand. She used to be a former chief of the community, like in on the previous CNRP, and they probably want to use her resources to because they know that she's still influential in her community. They probably want her to give her uh, something to work for CPP, so the government can convince those people to work for them. And in this case, she's just being patriot, and she love her own country. And sometimes she probably don't agree what the government did recently. That's why she said she can't serve them. And she's not affiliated with any political party. She just want to be by herself, doing her own thing and take care of her sick mother, and that's it. But it seems like the government is delusional. They're afraid of her, of a female activist. So they have to arrest her.
Thank you, Samady. The the reason for me is political reason. We all know it's political, and we all know the reason they arrest her, because she will not change her mind. She will not think of herself. She will think of her people and her party. If she decided to go to CPP, meaning, I mean, she gonna get a lot of money, but at the same time, she only think about herself, and she like closing her eye to the people that she work with, and that is not. She's not selling herself. In short, and that's somebody that's the reason why no amount of money or that can buy her, and that's what it's pissed them off. That's why they arrest her, and that to me is like she's not selling her her idea of what's freedom, what's democracy, and what human right is, and she cannot just for the benefit just for her, but also she stand with the people.
Mm-hmm.
And let me put another one up. This is a couple days ago. These three activists are in jail, and they hand down more charges against them. Let me see. They are three young environmental activists. They are part of the Mother Nature. They were charged. They were handed with additional charges. They were incitement charges relating to protests. I mean, before they were charges, incitement charges relating to protests against forest and water project. Also, the new charge is new anti-government conspiracy charge. So this will put them, they've been in jail. They're reserving jail term of up to 20 months for incitement. So now with this charges, it could land them 10 more years in jail. And all they did is they just protect the environment. They're not even doing illegal logging. And it's an embarrassment to the international community, where the regime, even the young kid was 18 years old, being thrown in jail for protecting the environment. I mean, you want to add anything regarding the new charges, and that's just totally against their rights, and that totally against, their freedom of expressions, their freedom of protesting, peaceful protest in Cambodia.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity. And I've been following that, starting with the, you know, Alexander Gonzalez, the founder of the Mother Nature, and these people, these three activists, you know, when you say fearing your own shadow, your topic is right on it. Anything could be misconstrued. Anything at all could be seen as a. He's so paranoid. Hun San is paranoid that these young people is going to bring him down. When in fact they're just doing what they need to do, and then they're being convicted for planning a peaceful protest against some of the activity like backfilling of a lake that we need. They wanted to backfill that lake with dirt and everything so that they can use that for development. So these young people, among other things, they said no, they did a peaceful protest. They said that can't happen, of course, and they got arrested. And of course the US, there's pushback from the US government. They're going to end the funding for the forest conservation program, and they're also asking the Cambodian authority to be responsive to its citizens and not to silence them. So they advocate that they be released, and that they need to stop imprisoning, and start listening to the youth activists, especially this youth. I can't understand if they're like part of the Cambodian National Rescue Party, the opposition party. But these people, these young youth, they're protecting the environment. Environment has influence not only in Cambodia. Destroying an environment in Cambodia has an effect on a global spectrum. And so they're doing what they're needing to do. And so they're being accused of inciting, and also for insulting the monarchy. And so they're being charged for up to 10 years in prison, and 10 million real, which is equivalent to $2,500. They can't even earn $1 a day because they're more working on like volunteer from the goodness of their heart. Altruism is priceless, but these people wants to undermine the democracy, wants to undermine the free will of the people.
Thank you. I mean, it's correct. Environmental actor is doing it by the free will, and unfortunately, illegal logging is still continue,
Yeah.
and illegal logging is big money, and illegal logging, bring the regime a lot of money. That's the reason why even teenager, I believe, there's one of them. She's 18. That's teenager that protesting, peaceful protest against deforestations and water conservations or lake or water, in short, water project. And the regime so scared. I'm talking about scaring their own shadow, because they are creating illegal activity. And these environmental activists bringing the subject to the table, like, hey, this is not good, cutting down the forest, not good, land grabbing, also putting all this sand into the lake, and it's not good for the environment. Samady, what do you think? How do you feel about that?
Well, as a youth, I think she's only 18 years old. Most of them around 18, 20. If they are going to jail for 10 years for doing that, by speaking out their voice, that is ridiculous. By the time they come out, they're probably around 28, 30 years old already. This is not fair for them. They could have done so much more things if the government have an open mindset of developing their country, because in our country we have a severe environmental need, because as you can see, those are not even cutting down the tree. Those what you call burning, to cut down the trees. So when the land is burning to the ground to cut the tree, that land is the soil on that land is basically dead. You cannot grow anything on it. So as you can see, that land is unusable. Basically, just destroyed your own land, basically, and they want to bring this issue up for people to see. And now they got arrested for 10 years in jails. And if I remember correctly, in Cambodia, we have in, I think, Article 41 by saying that all Khmer citizens have the right to express their opinion regarding the issues. And this is completely opposite of the law that has been passed.
So the regime is violating their freedom of expression, freedom to peaceful protest, and basically violating their human rights, their right to protest.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it just heartbreaking. Like in this country, you will be getting applause for what they did. So in the last week, go ahead, Natmin.
No, I mean, look at Greta. Greta Thunberg, the Swedish young lady that's getting recognized for, doing her activists for global work. And she's not afraid to stand up to big government saying that you're destroying my generation's resources. And so we applaud those kind of people. We want to put those people on the pedestal so that they can inspire. No, not Khmer. You see anyone's trying to do that, you're going to stop them, put them in submission.
Correct, and it's a sad thing. Let me bring. I know the topic of last week arrest and last week additional charges for Mother Nature's it are totally a violation of that right, violations of their freedom of speech, and also while democracy. That the regime is really violating democracy, back in democracy. Also last week. Ming and I, and also at the Women Affair of CNRPA, we have a solidarity flower at in Massachusetts at what called Wat Phnom Sarai. Let me show you a picture. I think that's include everybody.
That's a very nice picture.
Yes. So that's almost include everybody that fly out of the state, and our Women Affairs, so our chair, our vice president, our secretary. So I mean, can you help explain why we did the flower ceremony solidarity flower last week, and why are we doing it?
Yeah, I'll be glad to. So last week, we had the Cambodian National Rescue Party, the Women Affair, came together, and we call in Khmer and Cambodian, when we raise fundraising, we call it solidarity flower festival or something like that. Flower is money. So we had the fundraiser for several purposes. Number one is to help the activists that are not just CNRP activists that are being unjustly jailed, but also the activists of the Mother Nature, or someone who's jailed unjustly because they speak against the regime for their being unfairness, or the people who are very, very sick. So your the donation is going to help those people. We're not keeping any donation at all. 100% goes to them. So, like I said, it's not just for CNRP activists, all activists, human rights, activists who's been violated. Just like those three, they're not CNRP members, those three that's been charged. Okay. So I'm so glad that we came together, and it was a very nice it was successful. And Linda, you were there, and
Yes.
I was happy. I'm happy to see you and everyone else too.
Let me add, yes, and first we would like to thank you to all the donor that donated. on last weekend, and I just want to make sure that no, we not stopping accepting donation. We still accept donations because our fight for freedom and our fight for democracy in Cambodia have not stopped, and so the donations will go to support like people in Mother Nature's and also CNRP activists when if anybody does not realize when someone is in jail, their family does not have any income. Usually, if the breadwinner in the family in jail, their kid, their children is left without a support, and their wife is left without support, and that's also we talk about Friday woman as well, where Friday woman and Friday daughter in Friday Woman, with the wife and the daughter of the CNRP activists out there every Friday. I think they do it every Thursday now, just say every Friday, to to protest and to tell the regime that they want their husband or their father to be released because they in there for political reason, for bogus charges, like one of our audience said it, and it need to be released because when the man, especially the man, because in Cambodia many times the man is the financial provider. When they are in jail, their family needs support, and we can only do so much, and we can what I'm saying is when I was at the temple is that we want our people to know that we don't forget them. We over here, we in America, and we do not forget them. We do not forget their fight. We do not forget why they're fighting. And we are with them because as you and me and Samady, we want democracy, true democracy in Cambodia, and we want real human rights in Cambodia. There's no such thing as fake, but what they're doing is not even respecting that, and we want our people to know that thank you for standing up what is right. Thank you for doing what is right, and we behind them, and we still don't forget them, even though we in America.
Yes, and that is opposite of what the Hun Sen's regime is doing. We're here overseas, but we're still thinking about our own people. We're thinking them first. Hey, we suffer along with you. That's what compassion means, to suffer along. Because we share, not only we share a bloodline, but we're also in the human family. We don't forget you, we remember you. And whereas Hun Sen, okay, my neighbor first, you second, I'll give you coffin, I'll give my neighbor money, food.
Yes, we do not forget the brave people of Cambodia, the CNRP activists, and also like I said, the Friday woman who like 5-6 of them who just added, and we need people in Cambodia to stand up. Look at Friday woman, they've been pushed, they've been pulled, they've been kicked, but they out there for the purpose of democracy and for the purpose of human rights. Their husband is in jail, and that is not his human right is not there, and their human right is not there. They out there, and they're not allowed to even peaceful protest. So I want the Cambodian people to look at them and say, you know what, they out there every week. They need to stand up as well to make sure that they're, because this time is them, next time it's going to be them too. I mean, the other people, it's a matter of time. Like Dr. Kamlay said, it's a matter of time. This time is not you, but next time will be you. So, people need to stand up, and people need to protest, and people need to say, that is not right.
Now, Linda, isn't one of the women on Friday is also the mother of a 16-year-old who's been arrested?
Yes.
He has autism, and he was arrested unjustly. He's a minor, mind you. And that's the mother, right? Is one of the Friday.
Yes, I believe her name is Prom Chantha. Her son is Katsawanchai.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. I couldn't find his picture. He is 16 years old. He still in the custody. Even though the mom is asking for her to be there with him, they not even allow that. So that is the regime is going so low to even arrest autism teenager that don't even do anything. Basically, he's charged for I believe insulting the regime through Facebook.
Yeah, you're right. That is, I cannot believe of anything lower, you know, being in the healthcare profession and all the behavioral health profession. How can you, you know, let alone a minor, but a minor has special need. How could you even do that? And I can't believe the international community is kind of like looking at this and not intervene. Not that I'm blaming anything, but you should think about it, people. I mean, this is a minor with special need and being arrested and still there.
Yeah,
And
so I think he's been it for like the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks already. He's still in custody, and then yeah, he need his mother, and I'm not sure if you ever meet an autism kid. Have you ever meet an autism kid, Miss Pauline?
oh my gosh, yeah, I worked with some of them, and you know they do
Are
they're
they dependent? Are they independent? How do you describe them?
so you know there's a level of autism. You know, they can be higher level of autism. He looked like he might have some moderate to mild autism, but let alone just the diagnosis of autism, you are classified as having special needs. If you're in school, you have autism, you could ask for, you know, special time to take your test, you know, special place. A lot of at work, if you have autism, you know, they cater to you, so they want you to be able to work. But yeah, for him, he's a minor, he doesn't take social cue very well, so the mother is very important, the caregiver. So without his mother, not only they're taking human rights from him away, but they're also taking the right of the people with the, in this country we call American with Disability Act. You will be going to jail so quickly in this country for violating that. Not alone, you know, not just the ADA, but also him. He's a minor. Yes, he needs it. He does. You could tell, you know, because he can't, like you and I, we could communicate, and you can't pick up some subtle cue, or we can call read between the line. They cannot read between the line. So.
Yeah, thank you. Samady, our topic is fearing own shadow. Can you explain why they fear so much? Why the regime, arresting now that being said at 16 years old? That's a really 16 years old with special need. We were talking about the mother nature at 18. Now she brought it up. 16 years old. Um, he's not even involved in politics. He's the son of CNRP activists, and his father is in jail. His mother is being kicked, being dragged every Friday because she's out there and not giving up her protest. Um, what do they fear, Samady? They fear the 16 years old. What's going on?
I don't think they fear the 16 years old. They just feel the term of freedom of expression in simple word, because when you're talking about freedom of expression or speech, it assists in the discovery of the truth. And the government doesn't want you to know the truth. I remember while I was in school, really young, like 8, 9 years old, in a public Cambodian school. All I all I have ever learned in school is to read Other Man, Greatest Achievement. Thank you, peace, to the Vietnam who come and freed us from the Khmer Rouge and other people achievement. But they never teach me how to be ambitious and how to speak the truth, basically seeking the truth. Not like in the U.S. When I'm taking U.S. history, I learn about other country histories, and they teach you how to be ambitious, seeking the truth. And they showed me that history cannot be altered. So if you don't write the correct history, what's the point of having history if you don't learn from it? So I believe the government feared the truth when the environmentalists, like the girls who got arrested by talking about plastic in the oceans in Cambodia, that is called seeking the truth. When you're spreading truth informations, you will get punished by it. So if you're talking about our government signing a 99-year deal to other neighbor country, cutting down all our tree, that is seeking truth. So the word truth is forbidden in Cambodia, and you cannot seek them. You can only listen to whatever the government teach you to believe in.
So we can say, in short, this environmental activist, the 16 years old son of the CNRP activist, and the recent former CNRP activist, what they did is they did not do for their benefit. They do it for the society, the benefit of the Cambodian people. And the benefit of Cambodian people does not involve money, does not involve illegal logging. The benefit of Cambodian people does not involve putting sand into the water and build condo and making money. And that's what the regime does not want you to hear, does not want you to see, that whatever doing their shadow, whatever they're doing is illegal. Whatever they're doing, it's bad for the environment, it's bad for the country. So they are so afraid, even though at 18 years old, you will get arrested for talking about plastic, which is, we all know, plastic is bad for environment. Plastic is, it will not dissolve and it will go into the water and kill the fish. And basically, it's not good for environment. Putting pollution stuff into the water, it's not good for the environment. Illegal logging is not good for the environment. And also, for bringing that out into the open, it's not good for the regime pocketbook, especially. And that's the reason why they are so fearful of their shadow. Whatever they do, they just fearful. Even though at the 16 years old, he does nothing, he does absolutely nothing, but just to tell people, you know what, this is not, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to tell the truth. And I am so proud of them. I am so proud that every day when they still arrest people, we know that people are still care, people are still concerned about Cambodia. Our show is at the end. That means, would you like to add anything to the regarding the regime so scared of them, of their shadow? And Samady, would you like to add anything after that? Mean, say something.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I've heard a lot of our talk show in Cambodia, in Cambodian, asking if we could all like stand up together, things will happen. And I know some people look into Myanmar and see that people stood up and things happen slowly. The difference between Myanmar and us is that we have Paris Peace Agreement, October 23rd, 1991, where a whole bunch of countries signed up to protect Cambodia, from for our sovereignty. So if we stand up one day, if we decide to, a lot of us stand up like the way Myanmar, those people, the people who signed the Paris Peace Agreement, will, because that's part of the obligation, is to help. So I believe that if we one day stand up, it would not be the same as Myanmar, because there's no Paris Peace Agreement with Myanmar. We have that. So I just wanted to put it out there for the people who want to stand up, because if we stand up 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 at a time, they will all, lead us to submission. But if one day we decided more of us stand up together, they can't. There's not enough, like Madame Musaku said, there's not enough jail to put us in there. And the international community, the one that signed the peace agreement, would have to step in, because they are partly responsible for helping. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Thank you, Naming. Thank you for being on the show. And I cannot even say more than what you said. People need to stand up. The more we stand up, and you know what, if all 25 province people in the 25 province stand up, and you know what, there's no jail for to put us in anyway, to put the activists in. Samady, do you have anything to conclude the show?
I believe all youth should stand up and seek the truth, be ambitious, because right now in Cambodia, most of the people is hungry. So that also considered it as speaking out the truth. Show Hun Sen that I'm hungry. Everyone make a sign by saying I'm hungry. Show him, if he arrests people for saying I'm hungry during COVID, it shows the type of person he is. He's afraid of people speaking up. So I applaud all the environmentalists who want to show our society the truth. Where in a country the word freedom of speech, seeking truth is forbidden, but they still decide to do it. Of course, they know they're gonna go to jail, but they still do it. Why? Because they want to spread out truth information inside the country for once. Ever since Khmer Rouge that has eliminated all of resources that our country have.
Thank you, Samady, and thank you, Namin, for the coming to the show today. I appreciate it. And like I said, our topic is, fearing the shadow, and it is clearly show that the regime is afraid of their own shadow. Even continue arresting activists, CNRP activists that no longer work in Cambodia, that's just come home to take care of her family. So they are paranoia, number one, and just fearing for it. And also 16 years olds with special need who has nothing to do with politics, they arrest as well. So anybody that they concerned, they paranoid about their pocketbook, especially that's come down to it is concerning about their pocketbook. So it's a really good topic, and I thank you both guests for being here today, and we're looking forward to having you again. Thank you, Naming, and thank you, Samady.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, our audience, for joining us. I appreciate that you are here today. I hope that you have a good day. If you are evening, I hope that you have a great evening. I will see you next Tuesday. We will talk about more politics. We also will talk about why is it important for you to be in politics. I have a brand new guest for next week. I am so excited to talk to him. So I want please join me next week, and also share this broadcast, share this Facebook Live. This is regarding human rights, democracy, and in Cambodia, and how the regime is just, violate all both topics. And at the same time, another one is please help to support ending impunity for justice in Cambodia at change.org. We would like to have our goal to have 500,000 signature, but now we are pushing for, since we are so close to 100,000 signature. Currently we are at a little bit over 98,000 signatures, so less than 1,600 signature away. So please help to share and support our petitions. It's ending impunity for justice in Cambodia at change.org. Thank you, and see you next Tuesday.